A sitting of the House of Assembly is scheduled for Tuesday, November 24th, where the Minister for Finance will seek permission from Parliament to borrow US $20 million from the Export-Import Bank of the Republic of China for the purpose of financing the COVID-19 response project. The hefty sum will be debated by elected members in the lower house, as well as the selected lawmakers in the Senate later in the week. 2 temporary senators were enlisted to deputize for full-time independent senators, Mauricia Thomas Francis and Dr. Adrian Augier, who were absent from previous sittings due to extenuating circumstances. Given the agenda on the order paper, the media wondered whether the 2 independent senators, known for their keen insight on public policy, plan to be present in the August chamber.
I fully expect that both myself and my colleague, Independent Senator Mauricia Thomas Francis, will be sitting at the next session of Parliament. We have no reason to believe otherwise. We were both absent because of personal reasons, as you know.
Dr. Augier says these personal issues were brought across to the relevant authorities, and he looks forward to resuming his duties alongside his colleague, Senator Thomas Francis.
At the last sitting, Senator Francis recently buried her son, and I don't think anyone would expect her to be, attending to Senate in her moment of grief. But she's well. I want to assure the public that she's well, and I've spoken to her up to yesterday, and she's mending, and we wish her God's strength. For myself, I was in voluntary isolation. I made that clear in writing to the Clerk of Parliament, as is required, copied to Madam President, copied to Leader of Government Business, copied to Leader of Opposition Business. And I was at pains to point out my reasons for not attending, which is out of an abundance of caution and care for my colleagues. I did not want to put anybody at risk while I was waiting for my own results. Those results have been received as of Sunday, and I was free to move around the planet again.
In the absence of the 2 independent senators on Friday, October 2nd, the government convened a controversial Senate sitting in a bid to pass the much-delayed COVID-19 Prevention and Control Bill. With 6 senators a no-show, 2 independent legislators were temporarily appointed and new government senator Angelina Polius sworn in, prompting a fiery debate over what constitutes a proper quorum for a Senate meeting and the eligibility of the standings. For Augier, accountability cannot be lost amid the democratic distemper.
And us as citizens and as senators if we keep pushing our leaders in the right direction, they will have no choice but to move with us. What happens a lot of the time is that the people leave the government behind, and the government or the parties behind, and the parties don't recognize that many of us want something better, we want something more. But unfortunately, we get caught up in the rhetoric of the bias and the pettiness, and what should be a national conversation becomes a personal quarrel.
Parliamentarians will also debate the Public Finance Management, Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Amendment and credit reporting legislation this week. Solange Alfred, HTS News Force.